Crazy shit in this game. I feel like we gotta be close to nearing the end, right? So in the last episode, all of a sudden, we're on the fucking submarine. The Yanoa, which is manned by all these blue people who seem to be from a foreign country. And the manipulator, the manipulator Sissel, was trying to make a deal with them. The deal was, you know, that he gives him the Temsic that was stuck in his body. I kind of want somebody to fucking shoot Temsic right into my back, you know what I mean? Give me the power to manipulate whoever the fuck I want. And it looks like the manipulator was not present when the deal was going down, got the Temsic fragment stolen from him while he was trying to get revenge on Lynn using Camila's body. Then we had to change our fate in order to save Lynn, which ended up meaning that we had to change the course of a fucking missile that was not going to hit the submarine, which ended up making the submarine turn vertically, and then we had to escape. Now, the most interesting thing is when we started to escape the submarine, the door blasted open, and it seemed to be this crane that was made up of different items, like a fucking baseball glove, fire extinguisher, and this claw or something comes in, and it saved Camila and Lynn. But the question is, who's controlling that claw? Chapter 17, 5:10 a.m. Probably just about an hour before dawn. The upended submarine continues to sink, slowly but surely. A long, long journey to the bottom of the sea. Fuck. Lynn and the little lady found the darkness and salt water closing in on them, but at the very last second, something saved them. Now it looks down at them quietly. The fuck? My head is filled with one giant question. What in the world is this thing? It's got like a bottle, it's got a flashlight. Who's controlling that? Ah! What the fuck? What the fuck? Is that Sissel? Oh my god. Is that manipulator Sissel that saved them? Look at the manipulator made his whole body again. I see you managed to survive, detective. Hey, you're... Excuse my appearance. I seem to have lost my body. Oh, and you there. You're the ghost who's been saving Lynn all evening, aren't you? You knew about me all along? Of course. What else would explain all those unnatural things happening? If you knew, how come you didn't do anything about it all this time? And how come you decided to save us all of a sudden? I thought you wanted to get revenge on us. I don't really know. Please, you gotta tell me. I need to know. Oh shit. Who in the world are you? Sissel, look at you. What happened? I can't hold on to that image of myself any longer. You can't remember who you are? That's right. I came all this way tonight, trying to chase down my lost memory. For quite a bit of tonight, I thought I was you, Sissel. Sissel? My name isn't Sissel. I bet you'll remember really soon who you are, and who I am, too. What? What? The man in front of me is not me. I'm even further away from the truth. Or maybe not. Something is stirring in my mind. A memory about to emerge. What is it? Do I know this man? Now that I've shed my image of myself, I feel like I'm one step closer to the truth. Also, where the fuck are we? What? I said... Oh, so I turned into like a little ball. Sissel, what happened to you? I can't hold on to that image of myself any longer. You can't remember who you are. I came all this way tonight trying to chase down my lost memory. For quite a bit of tonight, I thought I was you, Sissel. So in realizing that I'm not actually Sissel, I lost the image of Sissel. I lost the image of the yellow-haired man who I thought was Sissel. So maybe I was just perceiving myself to appear that way? Interesting. They got us good. It's all over for this submarine. Its engine room is destroyed. There's a hole in the hull, and it's sinking as we speak. What are you doing here? I thought you had a deal with those people. They betrayed me. I was a fool to trust them. They already have what they wanted now. The Temsic fragment. I didn't know they had it all figured out. You mean they figured out the source of your powers? Yeah. That meteorite's radiation has two effects on living creatures. It gives power and time. If you don't mind, we'd like to hear more. What? What's the power effect? These 10 years, I've been watching that junkyard superintendent do his research. Also, I love his sprite. I love fucking cog robot Sissel's like version of himself. It's just like evocative of Sissel enough, but also like has a telephone and like cogs and like some sort of pipe on his head. I love it. I've been watching the junkyard superintendent do his research, and I think I've kind of got some of it figured out. Huh? The meteorite's radiation gives spirits special powers, like possessing and manipulating objects. And in my case, swapping objects. Exactly. Apparently, there are individual differences in the powers we get, and it seems these powers change as time goes by. They do? Yeah, my powers have changed over these past 10 years. At first, I could only manipulate small living creatures. Now then, how do you suppose we got these powers? It's simple. It is? How then? In a nutshell, we died while exposed to the energy emitted by the meteorite. Its radiation. We died while exposed to the energy emitted by the meteorite. Its radiation. So for manipulator Sissel, who's saying that Sissel is not his name, for this man on the screen, he died because the Temsic fucking lodged itself into his back. He died while exposed to the radiation. That makes sense. And for Missile, it makes sense because Missile died by getting smashed by the motorcycle and then fell into the hole that was right next to the Temsik stone that's in the ground. So Missile just by chance got those powers. So that still leaves a big question mark. Who am I? And how the fuck did I get exposed to the Temsik? And then on top of that, how did Desklamp get exposed to the Temsik and its radiation while he was dying? I don't know. That's what does it? Dying while being exposed to the radiation?
On that day 10 years ago, a fragment of that meteorite pierced my heart, and I died. So of course, I received special powers.
Hey, wait a minute. Is that how I got my powers too?
You know, you might be right.
Yep, exactly like we just said. Missile gets fucking hit, falls into the crater, and guess what? That crater's right next to the big stone.
Aren't the Temsik remnants still right there in that park? At the bottom of that crater? You're right. So that must mean I must have died in the presence of the meteorite's radiation too.
Now what about the time effect?
Another effect the meteorite's radiation has on us is that it gives us time. Again, I think this time effect is centered around the theme of death, but it's not all that clear. So the fact that I can return to 4 minutes before a person's death is another effect of that meteorite? One of the characteristics of that meteorite is its ability to replay the moment of death. Replay the moment of death? This is all so strange and confusing. I can't take it all in.
It makes about as much sense to me as anything else.
Yeah, strange and confusing. That just about sums up the object that pierced my body that day. Thanks to that meteorite fragment, my very existence is a contradiction. What do you mean? That day, when the fragment pierced my heart, I lost my life. However, because it remained inside of me, that fragment continued to constantly regenerate my body. In other words, my body was continuously cycling between the moments that separated my life and death. What? My body's vital functions stopped 10 years ago, but my body's time is perpetually stopped at the moment just before death. Time just stopped, huh? So I just simply existed, not really alive, and not really dead. That pretty much just sums up these last 10 years for me ever since that incident in the park.
I need to reread that shiz. One of the characteristics of the meteorite is that its ability to replay the moment of death. Just like how I have been able to replay the moment of death throughout this entire thing. Okay. Thanks to that meteorite fragment, my very existence is a contradiction. That day when the fragment pierced my heart, I lost my life. However, because it remained inside of me, that fragment continued to constantly regenerate my body. In other words, my body was continuously cycling between the moments that separated. Also weird that it's spelled wrong there. Separated my life and death. That makes sense. Because the Temsik fragment is what gives someone the ability to, like, go back in time. So if that Temsik fragment is inside his body, then it would constantly keep going back to like 4 minutes before his death, and then he dies, and then 4 minutes before his death. My body's vital function stopped 10 years ago, but my body's time is perpetually stopped at the moment just before death. So I simply existed, not really alive and not really dead. That pretty much sums up these last 10 years of my life, ever since that incident in the park.
My body hasn't aged a day. My hair hasn't grown an inch. Come to think of it, that old pigeon guy mentioned something. He said he couldn't cut this guy's body with the scalpel.
That makes sense. So it froze his body in time.
So I guess as soon as an incision was made, his body would be regenerated. Wow! Before I left this country, I wanted to do one thing. I wanted to get revenge on the people who stole our lives. Our lives? As part of the deal, I made those guys promise to cooperate. Cooperate? You mean the kidnapping? It all went fine. I manipulated the justice minister and made him issue the execution order, but I thought he might call off the execution at the last second. So, that's why you wanted his daughter kidnapped. But they kidnapped the wrong girl! Little did I know. They had their own reasons for cooperating with me. Huh? Their objective was to wipe out everybody who had to do with Temsic.
Which is what we heard right at the beginning from nearsighted Jigo. It's like, you're one of the Temsic. Why would they want to wipe out everybody who had something to do with Temsic?
Detective Jowd was one such person, so they were happy to cooperate. Inspector Cabanella and the junkyard super, they were slated to be wiped out too. And as it turns out, I was one of their targets as well.
Oh,
so they stole my Temsic fragment, and here I am. But they had one more final target.
Huh, Lynn?
You, detective.
Me? I need to reread that. Fuck. Sorry guys that I'm rereading a lot, but oh shit. No shit, fuck. I need to go back. Sorry. Okay. I wanted to get revenge on the people who stole our lives. Our lives. As part of the deal, I made those guys promise to cooperate. It was all fine. I manipulated the justice minister. We know that. Little did I know they had their own reasons for cooperating with me. Their objective was to wipe out everybody who had to do with Temsic. Interesting. But they had one more final target. Why is Lynn a target? I clicked the wrong dialogue, so I gotta skip through this real quick. Fuck, sorry. Watch him get blown to pieces again. Lynn doesn't have Temsic in her. We would know that at this point. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Why is Lynn a target?
If you weren't there in the park that day 10 years ago, I never would have thought of doing something as stupid as taking a hostage.
Oh, okay. But I was just a little kid playing in the park.
Yeah, I know.
Huh?
10 years later, and you become a detective, looking into Jowd's case. Tonight, I invited you to a quiet spot on the edge of town. It was a trap, you see.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Why?
I told you who I was. You never saw my face that day 10 years ago. So of course, you didn't recognize me.
What? He leaned up against the wall.
I took possession of you to make you shoot me.
Yep. That's why he leaned up against the wall, because he wasn't actually fucking possessing his own body.
Your subconscious resisted me. Such incredible power. It was the first time I wasn't able to control somebody completely.
Oop. First shot missed.
The aim was off, and the first shot missed the mark. The junkyard was equipped with security cameras. I knew you'd be wanted for murder. That was my plan anyway.
This is where the game started. Fuck. And then nearsighted Jigo pops in.
But they had other ideas. They simply wanted you wiped out. But then, something threw a big monkey wrench into their scheme.
It was me. It was me.
I showed up.
But if I'm not... My mind is fucked right now, let me tell you. Because if I'm not Sissel, then why did I wake up after Sissel died? What? And also the deal between him and the blue people is selling his services of the Temsik. And then also getting revenge on the people that stole our life away, whatever he means by our. So many questions. Let's just keep going.
I was supposed to meet up with them after that. But then something went wrong.
What happened?
My body disappeared. Aha! The inspector in white was responsible for that one. My precious bargaining chip was in that body. I had to get it back, no matter what. That inspector caused me no end of trouble.
But why were those people targeting me? I never even heard of the Temsik meteorite.
Because you were looking into the Jowd case. They thought you would find out about Temsik sooner or later.
Oh no.
And that's pretty much the whole story. The only thing left to do now is wait for water pressure to crush this submarine.
Oh no!
There are no cores that link from here to the water's surface.
I have an idea. We hook up a phone line and...
There are no communication cables down this deep. They meant for this submarine to be my coffin. A coffin for the dead. There's no escape.
Fuck. I think I kind of understand now what you've been feeling these 10 years.
You what?
This feeling.
cut off from the world, all alone in a submarine, sinking slowly toward the bottom of an endless sea? This must be how you felt all along.
Between life and death. Caught.
Lynn? Camila! Is it true? We're stuck here? What? Oh, If my dad... Huh? If my dad was here, I bet he'd save us. Oh, no! Oh... Oh, Camila, I'm so sorry. That's funny. What is it, Sissel? There's something I don't understand. Why would they go to all the trouble of detaching the control room? What? Why didn't they just steal the Temsic fragment and escape if that's what they wanted? Why did they have to jettison your body off into the sea? That's a good question. But I guess it doesn't matter why now. We'll never find it again. We have no idea where it was launched to. Wait a minute! Yes, we do! The pocket watch! This will tell us where Detective Jowd is! That present from the Inspector in White! That's right! Detective Jowd told me to hold on to it for him. And the bullet is still in this person's body in the command room, right? Yes! Then we should be able to tell exactly where it is with this. But even if we find out where it is, how do we get in there?
We should be able to figure something out between the three of us with our powers, right, Miss Lynn?
Right! Oh, and wait a minute. What about a torpedo? A torpedo? In any case, it's way too early to give up. Looks like Detective Jowd is our last hope. Come on, let's get started.
It's fucking trick time, baby. I need a pause. A lot of fucking information to take in there. A lot of information. Who the fuck am I? Who am I? There's so many more questions now, I feel. So, the blue people want to wipe out everyone who knows something about Temsic. This fucking manipulator guy who it seems like we're now working with worked with them in order for him to get his revenge on the people that changed his life for 10 years and basically locked him in this time loop of being between life and death. That makes a lot of sense, right? It kind of gives him a motivation to be an evil fucking bastard. Because if he would never have picked up Lynn, if he would have never have faced off with Detective Jowd, if the interrogation would never have happened in that room, he never would have been in this ghost trick situation. We also learned that everyone who dies near the meteorite or near a fragment of the meteorite gets a ghost trick. I'm obviously one of those people. I don't know how I died then. The biggest question to me here is then, at the time of my death, the main character of this game, my Sissel, at the time of my Sissel's death, if he was possessing the Sissel shell and then possessed Lynn to shoot himself, to frame Lynn to get revenge, then why would I wake up? Why would I wake up after Sissel's death and think that I'm Sissel after looking at Sissel's dead body? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Still leaves a big question mark for who I am. I guess what we have to do right now is we just gotta fucking get to Detective Jowd and see what's up. You know what I mean? Can I operate this control panel? Oh shit, okay. There's grapes there. Yep. Why is this machine shoving grapes at me? Well, this looks like the private cabin of the top officer, doesn't it? This machine is probably for feeding him grapes while he lies in bed. Oh, it sounds heavenly.
I've been thinking about this for a while now, but don't you think that country's use of technology is just a little off?
Says the guy who made a deal with said country. Anyway, it looks like the arm of this machine is a bit busted. Ooh, telephone. Can I dial? To the torpedo room? The torpedo room, huh? There might be another torpedo left there. I'll go check it out. Oh, I get it. You're going to use a missile to ram the control room. Well, I don't know about ram. We don't want to blow Detective Jowd up, but something like that. We'll climb up to the torpedo room too. Up is definitely safer. Okay, I'll see you there then. It looks like the torpedoes can be launched manually with these switches. There are 2 tubes, so there should be one more left. I guess the first thing we have to do is load it into the tube. When it comes to missiles, you can count on me. I'll enter the coordinates of the command room into the torpedo. And I just turned on the backup power. We ought to be able to use the switches now. Okay, let's try it. Good luck! The switch won't budge. Maybe it's broken? But I don't think the entire device is broken though. It would probably work just fine if I could only move this switch. We'll have to find a way to move it somehow, but I can't do it with my powers alone. Oh. Is the other switch better? Let me see if I can talk to him. What will happen to these 2 ladies? I think that's up to us. And our powers. What? This is no time to be standing around unsure of ourselves. Will you lend me your strength missile? Me? Of course I will. Count on it. Alright, sweet. So now we got missiles help. Switch the switches. That way I can actually move this one now. Yep. Nice. Alright. Got the missile. We're gonna load it. There we go. That torpedo looks serviceable. All set on this end too. But something's odd. What is? The command room. It looks like it's slowly sinking. Sinking? Yeah, like it's completely run out of power. I wonder what happened. I don't know, but I guess I'll find out. Right. Okay. Hop into the missile. I'll launch it for you. Okay, thanks. I fucking bet that Detective Jowd is dead and we're gonna have to go back in time. I've already set the torpedo's course. It'll head toward the command room where Detective Jowd is. 12 seconds after launching, it'll pass by the command room for an instant. That instant will be your window of opportunity to jump over to the command room. Okay, got it. And then we'll find a way to come back and save you. That'll probably be my last task tonight. Just hold on until we get back. Let's fucking do it. Okay. Come on, missile. Me. Missile? I'm sorry. I can't go. Why? What? I just can't. How could I leave? I can't leave Miss Lynn and Miss Camila behind. I can't do it. Missile. I swapped these switches so the missile can be launched. You'll have to do the rest, Cecil.
I can't do it either. I can't ask Missile to come with me after that. I understand exactly how he feels.
We gotta do this one alone. Fucking hit it.
I want you to go, Missile.
What? But Miss Lynn...
You staying here won't change our fate. But if you go with Sissel, you might be able to make something happen. And that's our only hope.
But what if that something doesn't happen? I'll never be able to see you again. Never ever again. Even I can understand that. I couldn't stand that.
Don't worry, Missile.
Miss Camila?
I just know you and Sissy can make something happen. I believe in you. I'll be right here waiting for you. We'll see each other then. Don't worry.
Miss Camila! Oh, he's doing it.
That's a good boy, Missile.
Missile's fucking doing it, baby.
Now are you ready? Remember, it's 12 seconds after I throw this switch. We're ready.
Fuck. Here we go.
Sissel? Yes? We never found out who you really were. But that doesn't matter now. All I know is, I'm truly glad I met you tonight. Thank you for everything. And I'm glad I met you, Detective. But we're going to see each other again, right, Sissy? Right, Missile? That's right. We promise, little lady.
Of course we will!
I'll never forget you, no matter what happens. Here goes then. Good luck, friend!
Oh, shit. Final boss time, baby. We going off, baby. Bam.
These 12 seconds are lasting an eternity. I strive to think of a way to save Lynn and the little lady the whole time. But how can a ray of light, of hope, reach this far down into the deep sea? Before I can think of an answer, the 12 seconds are up.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit, he's dead. Fuck. What's going on?
Detective Jowd!
I bet that big masked man did this. I'm going to bite him.
You better not. You might break your teeth. The command room has lost power and is sinking. So I wonder what this masked man is going to do.
Let's talk to Detective Jowd. What the fuck, dude?
Sorry for the wait, Detective Jowd.
Who are you? Are you Sissel?
Please excuse my appearance.
I can't believe you made it here. How is Camila? And what about Lynn?
Well, it's kind of a long story. I told Detective Jowd about everything that happened on the submarine, Yanoa.
So the submarine is badly damaged? Why would he do that to his own submarine?
I wish I knew.
I know the answer to that one. Oh.
I know the answer to that one. It's because he's afraid of my powers. You! You followed us? I didn't even notice. It's been 10 long years, Detective Jowd.
Are you Yomiel?
New character? That's his actual name? Yomiel? Yomiel?
Yomiel. 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 Yomiel.
What the fuck? Are you Yomiel? Holy shit. Flashback? Okay. Pause. So this motherfucker, who we thought was me, Sissel the whole game, has always been Yomiel. Yomiel's the person from the park with the Temsic in his back from 10 years ago.
So you remember me, do you?
How could I possibly forget?
So that's your real name, huh? Yomiel? That's right. But those people on the Unoa were calling you Sissel. That's just an alias I was using for my deal with them. I didn't see any need to tell them my real name. Could you do me a favor? Would you let me ask you some questions? I've been trying to find out my true identity all night. Sure. Go ahead. I'm sure there's plenty we can tell you. Right, Detective Jowd?
Right. Right? Your cross-examination, please.
What is happening? This has to give us some answers about the game. I'm so excited.
10 years ago, you were a top systems engineer, weren't you?
Systems engineer? What's that? By the way, I'm a top Pomeranian, you know. Fucking love Missile.
Well, it's kind of hard to explain to a dog, but it's a person who's good at using computers.
I don't mean to brag, but I was one of the best in the industry. That's how I got roped into joining that project. Project? What project? It was a project aimed at reorganizing the nation's top secret information. The goal was to build a new system using multi-dimensional programming theory. I was asked to join the project by an agent of the government.
It doesn't sound like something a top Pomeranian would know anything about.
To me, it just sounded like another challenging job. However, this project was also the target of a secret plot. I bet you can imagine the kind of crime the nation's top secrets might attract. I never thought for the life of me I'd ever have to deal with spies.
It was never made public, but every organization in the country moved on this one. And then, one day, the name of a certain programmer emerged as a suspect.
I was the guy who built the core of the system.
The police arrested you, and then that incident happened.
So was he suspected of leaking secrets? Another challenging job. This was a project that was also the target of a secret plot. I bet you can imagine the kind of crime the nation's top secrets might attract. I never thought for the life of me I'd ever have to deal with spies. It was never made public, but every organization in the country moved on this one. It was never made public, but every organization in the country moved on this one? What? And then one day the name of emerged as a suspect. So he was suspected of leaking national secrets?
The police arrested you, and then that incident happened.
He escaped from the interrogation room and took little Lynn as a hostage. By the way, Detective Jowd, when was it that I was proven innocent?
About 6 months after your death. I'm so sorry, Yomiel.
That makes sense now. So he was suspected of leaking national secrets because he was a computer programmer that dealt with basically storing all of the nation's secrets. Spies were trying to contact him. And again, he was suspected of leaking national secrets. Turns out he was innocent. It makes a lot more sense why Detective Jowd would feel so, like, guilty for his death. Because it's not even that he just shot a warning shot that caused his death. It was the fact that he even was interrogating someone who was innocent, you know? So what's his real motive for revenge then?
10 years ago.
The fucking Temsek meteor. It's kind of like Outer Wilds.
My soul was split from my body, and I lost everything. I was sealed in eternal darkness. I existed in this world. No question about that. But nobody noticed my presence. What good were my powers? They didn't help anybody. Not even the passage of time could heal my pain. In fact, it only made it worse. I wanted to disappear, but I wasn't even allowed to do that. The way Lynn described it is exactly right. Sinking slowly toward the bottom of an endless sea. An overwhelming feeling of loneliness and despair. And I wanted all of you to suffer what I was suffering.
And so, that's why you murdered Alma.
That's right. I wanted you to know what it was like to lose everything you cared about. I wanted you to feel the same pain I felt.
What?
It was the twisted wish of a mind poisoned by infinite loneliness. And then, as I was plotting my revenge, I had an idea. I came up with a plan to use these powers of mine to make a deal.
There's something I just don't understand about that deal.
Me neither! Me neither! You could have got your revenge without making the deal. So because he was fucking hit by the Temsek, he blames it on everybody else for putting him in the position to get hit by the Temsek. That makes sense.
I'm sure your powers would be very valuable to them. But what would you get out of the deal?
A new life.
Life?
I asked them for 2 conditions. Number 1 was that they help me with my revenge plot. And the second was a rebirth for me.
Rebirth? A new beginning, huh?
I didn't care if it was a fake life, an artificial life. I just wanted a physical receptacle for my soul. A name, an identity, and everyday life. I wanted to grow old in a society that would accept me. And finally, I wanted to die, surrounded by a loving family. That's the kind of life I asked them for.
A completely man-made life.
That's right. I knew I couldn't hope for anything more than that. To make it all come true, I knew it would take a lot of money and a lot of power. That's why I decided to ask a national government to help me. And their response in the end was betrayal.
Never fucking trust the national government. They'll always fuck you in the end, man. Whether they're blue or white or gay or straight. I mean, whatever.
They were making their moves much more carefully than I suspected. They sent spies to this country and researched my powers on their own. And they even figured out what Temsek was all about.
And you had no idea they were doing all of this?
Not at all. I was a fool. So then, Why did they go to all the trouble of making a deal with you? Why didn't they just steal the hunk of Temsic meteorite from the park? They couldn't. Huh? After the manipulator incidents, research was conducted in this country too. A report was submitted to the government about the source of the manipulator's power.
Yep. These two homies.
By Inspector Cabanella and the old pigeon guy, huh? At first, the government didn't believe the report. But then, they decided to put the park under surveillance just in case. Surveillance, huh? It just looks like an ordinary peaceful park, but there are armed agents there at all times.
He's an armed agent?
Don't tell me that odd leaflet guy is one of them. No, not him. He's just a plain old odd person.
Who is it then?
That park is like a silent battlefield on an international scale.
So that's why they couldn't steal the Temsic meteorite.
And lately, under the pretense of building a housing site, they've been working on a plan to destroy that park in order to secure the Temsic meteorite. So that's it, huh?
So the upshot of your grand deal was this, huh?
Yeah. It's the ending I deserve.
But at least there's one thing you must be happy about.
What's that?
You've managed to seal me away at the bottom of the sea forever.
Well, shall we get started? Started with what? Bringing Detective Jowd back to life, of course. What? What good will that do now?
But we promised! We promised Miss Lynn and Miss Camila we'd save them!
We can't do that without you, Detective Jowd.
Huh?
I've been guided by fate tonight to this place. I won't give up now.
All right. Fine. Let's see where it leads us.
Here we go then. Back to 4 minutes before your death.
What the actual fucking fuckity fuck? So, Yomiel made a pact with them so that he could get his revenge. They would help him with his revenge plot, and that they would give him a new life so that he could just live as a normal person. And then they fucked him in the end, just so that they can get the Temsic fragment. Makes so much sense that at the end of the day, this conspiracy is just fucking government's greed. That's wild. I feel like Yomiel's gonna come around. What happened?
So, where are we headed?
We're not headed anywhere, Detective.
What?
There was only enough fuel on board to launch us away, Detective. We will run out soon, and that will be our destination, Detective.
What are you talking about? That would mean that you're trapped here too!
He's just a fucking robot. God damn it. By the way, I am not human, Detective. I am a remote-controlled robot, Detective.
What?
That makes fucking sense.
Your country's use of technology is just plain off.
We get that a lot, Detective.
Why would you go through the trouble to do this? That's nothing but a shell there. It's hardly a threat anymore.
Commander Sith likes to provide... Commander Sith? Is that his name? Is that not a fucking Star Wars thing? Commander Sith likes to provide against any possibility, no matter how small, Detective.
Possibility? What are you talking about?
There is no need for you to know, Detective. Oh, he's gonna get shot now. Now it is time to say goodbye, Detective. In the end, your fate remains the same, it seems, Detective.
Camila, forgive me.
Oh, shit. Got fucking Jackson Pollock all over the room.
It isn't over yet.
It isn't?
Remember what the big masked man said? Any possibility, no matter how small.
Possibility.
In other words, there must be a chance here somewhere. The possibility of turning this situation around.
What's the possibility?
Where are we headed?
We're not headed anywhere, Detective. We're not, Detective. We know this, we know this. He's a fucking robot. Honestly, dude?
Huh?
What is it, Detective?
Look at Yomiel's shell.
There's no aura emanating from his body. Of course there isn't. The Temsic fragment is gone. Could this change in his shell?
Could this change in his shell give us some kind of lead? Who is in his shell?
I figured it out. I know what this possibility of no matter how small is. I know what this possibility no matter how small is that they're afraid of. What is it? My time was perpetually stopped thanks to the power of the Temsic. His body cycled between the moments that separated his life and death.
Right, but not anymore. The Temsic fragment has been taken away.
Exactly. So what does that mean? I get it! Your body won't come back to life anymore. The moment the Temsic fragment was removed, my shell became a regular corpse. So, let's see, that means we can go back? Back to 4 minutes before your death?
But wait a minute! Exactly when is that death?
That's simple. We'll find out.
When we get there, let's move! We're going back to fucking Temsic Park? Is that what we're doing? Holy fuck! Oh shit, this is different.
I fell back through the cracks of time for what seemed like forever. And then I saw it. The final death at the end of this long night. Who exactly am I? I've already seen all of the clues. All I have to do now is remember. The final journey to the truth starts now.
Oh my god, bro. Look at this art. Look at this fucking art. Fucking Mecha Yomiel. God damn, dude. I mean, we gotta stop there, right? We gotta stop there. The final fucking path to the truth, the final journey to the truth starts now. So wild, so fucking crazy. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it in the next episode. We learned a lot of shit today, let me tell you. But now, it's time to sign off. This has been Gish, Guy.